hot lapping right away. Shane Stewart, brand new driver of the number 5 CJB machine. And first off, welcome to the show. Happy Halloween. You're dressed up as an Oklahoma fan? Flip your switch. Yeah, you got to flip your switch up.
That helps. Hello.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, no, so growing up in Oklahoma, you were either a Kansas City Chiefs or a Dallas Cowboys fan. And because we didn't have professional football in our town, so it was OU or OSU, and been an OU fan for a long time.
So a Barry Switzer days kind of thing?
Yeah, Barry Switzer
Who's your
days.
quarterback?
Right now?
No, that you remember. Who was your guy?
For OU?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Heck, I don't know, man.
No, Marcus Dupree, you know.
Yeah, Marcus Dupree was great.
See,
yeah,
you didn't think I knew about that stuff.
For OU, but there's, OU's been
He thought he was going to talk about only racing. And he wears an OU hat, I got to hook you up.
Yeah, no, OU's had a strong football team.
You can't sing their fight song, can you?
No.
So you're domino number 1. You cut the new deal. You stay in the sport. You got Barry Jackson. This got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm very grateful and for the opportunity. I'm in the later stages of my career, and honestly, there's not a whole lot of really good rides that you can jump into, and the 5 car is definitely one of them. But first and foremost, thankful for the opportunity that I had with the 2 team. We've had 5 great seasons there with LMR and obviously now KLR, and wish them nothing but the best. And they gave me a great opportunity. Justin was kind of green to the sport of sprint car racing. Kyle kind of guided him a little bit on who to hire, and I was the chosen one, and very thankful for the opportunity. And we were able to celebrate some big wins.
Eldora, probably the one that you look back on?
Yeah, that's definitely one of them. But we were competitive every time we went to the Nationals at Knoxville, and I think we amassed 30-something World of Outlaw wins, which is no easy task.
First win in the car, maybe another one?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's several that stick out in my mind, but obviously winning the Kings Royal would be one of the bigger ones. But it was a great ride, and I know Macedo and Joe and Heath and all them guys will be fast. So, but we got 2 races here that we got to try to concentrate on, and last couple years here at Charlotte we've struggled a little bit, but hopefully Heath and I and Jacob can get our acts together and have 2 strong finishes.
So a lot of fans want to follow along over the holidays. You going to have merchandise out by the holidays? Have you started looking at all the little designs they send you? And
yeah, maybe. We really haven't thought about too much about that side of things, but yeah, probably some flash sales on some 2 apparel, but we'll see how all that shakes out.
Well, we're famous around Charlotte for our after Thanksgiving sale of that stuff. So you bring it on out, and we'll put it up there for our post-Thanksgiving fire sale that we have.
All right, appreciate it.
What was that when finally, CJB and was it relief and then excitement, or excitement then just now it's time for business? What were those emotions? That had to be quite a swirl.
It was. My wife Jen, we Kyle had kind of told me what was gonna take place with the 2 car, and I was a little little nervous, but I wasn't as stressed as I probably would have been 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured if something was to take place where I could keep myself out here, this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be on the World of Outlaw Tour full time. I didn't want to go back to where I was, 6 or 7 years ago or 8 years ago, picking and choosing and jumping in different cars. I didn't want no part of that. So, so I wasn't really nervous about the situation. I figured if something was to pop up and it was a good opportunity, obviously I was going to take it. And I talked to Barry and got things worked out there. But, there was a time period there where it was a little shaky.
You mentioned Barry. You got Barry now, as the crew chief stays on. And when you were in the 2, still are, certain tracks fit certain cars, certain drivers. Is there one that you kind of always saw the 5 go fast in? That's like, I can't wait to go fast at that track in that car because I want to do it there.
Yeah, I mean, there's several races where, the 5 car's been fast over the last 2 or 3 years. And, obviously his perfect night that they had at the Nationals stands out. But, Barry and Chad and Jen and all them guys over there, they do a great job with that race car. And, David has proven over the last 3 years that it's a top-notch team and it's capable of running up front every night, whether it's a big track or small track. And I look forward to getting in that race car and trying to get as many wins as we can. And who knows, maybe we can even try to compete for the championship.
Will you get any test time after the season with those guys? Can you go runs?
I'm not exactly sure about that. Barry had mentioned that. Obviously, we're going to start as soon as we can in Florida, try to start at Bubba, the Raceway Park there. And obviously, we'll do all the races leading up to our first official point race at Volusia. So Barry did mention something about maybe testing at a few places, but we'll see how the winter plays out.
Well, when you get that first win, I'll be texting and we'll get you on PRNs at the track. You have your daughter's out there in the audience, and I don't know whether they've got her on camera. Look at that. Look at that. Kind of describe that outfit. What's she wearing?
She is a fairy deer. You ever heard of a fairy deer? Yeah, I haven't either until now.
No. Well, I know she wants to go trick-or-treat, Dad, and, we need to get you going with her. But Shane, awesome to know that you're in the 5 and looking forward to getting you on the phone and talking about that first win with the new team.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Shane Stewart. And we've got another Shane. We're going Shane Clanton. 8 model star, former series champion, coming up next. So you're good to go. And we'll bring Clanton up. Can't wait to talk to Clanton. If you were following his social media, bring him on up. The Georgia Bulldog. They still call you that, right? Eshelman, I'm sure, calls you that.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's on or not. At least he's not calling you like Anna Parker's the Georgia Peach. No, that's hers.
That's right. Luckily, I got a good name there. As much as we support the Bulldogs, so it's all good.
So this summer, I'm watching and I'm seeing a lot of between race fun that you're having out there, and all of a sudden it's a hot summer day and it's you and the boys. Madden is laughing, eating ice cream with you. I didn't think that was possible. You guys were really just having that kind of cool summertime deal. Tell us about that.
It is. It's anytime you can have fun away from racetrack, it's that's life goal is to have fun and be successful at what you do. So we always put having fun first, and that's what I try to do. And luckily we had Madden to travel with us this year, and just, I don't know, it's been neat just to have a good guy to just hang out and do things with.
So do you typically travel 2 or 3 guys, 2 or 3 teams when you're going from A to B?
Well, that's what you try, just in case something happens on the road or whatever. It's somebody's truck can break down, and you got 2 or 3 that knows what's going on, and you can help each other do what we're going to do.
World of Outlaws goes to a lot of places. Did you go to somewhere new on the tour? Because you've been on the tour for a long time. Did you go to somewhere new, or is there still that one place special you like to go between races?
Yeah, but we went to like Dundee, New York this year, and the racetrack was phenomenal. It's just luckily we got to go there for probably one time because the crowd wasn't that great, but hopefully fans can know that there's more racetracks out there that they can go see and have a good race to. But yeah, there's always like Lernerville we love going to, and also always coming here to Charlotte. So this whole week leading up to this is pretty cool.
I saw you at an odd place. You were at Atlanta Motor Speedway for a cup race.
Yeah.
How'd you end up there?
Well, luckily we only live 15 minutes from there, so it's we always like going to see them guys in race and see what they do and try to learn from the best in the business. And it's not necessarily our business, but you also can learn from your peers. And I'd love to have been in a cup one day, but my road took me dirt racing, so that's where I'm at.
Do you really, do you just learn by looking at how they kind of display the car, put the car together, their crews work? What do you look for when you go to a cup race that you can possibly translate back here to the World of Outlaws?
I mean, it's just the fabrication that guys do on their cars. It's phenomenal. And then we tried to transfer some of that over to our stuff, a little bit aero stuff and this and that. But just the craftsmanship in them cars is unbelievable, how they put that much work and effort into one car in 1 week. And we just tried to put some of that in our stuff.
Do you follow Chase Elliott, I guess, Georgia kid, or who do you follow?
Just everybody. I mean, it's the PR stuff over there is so great that you can follow anybody you want to. I'm just an avid race fan when I'm not racing myself. So any kind of race that I want to be watching TV or whatever. So that's what we do.
So a couple of races to go this year. You're going to put an exclamation point on them. Are we going to be talking in victory lane? Have you got something to pull out and make that magic happen this weekend?
I hope. We built a new car 3 weeks ago, and it was show promise at Eldora there. We run the circuit there for a long time, and we just steadily just work as hard as you can and try to make it as best you possibly can. And hopefully we put the right package on it this week and got the motor tuned up, and hopefully we can pull out a win.
What's the key to getting a late model around the dirt track here at Charlotte?
It's like every dirt track. It's you want to turn on the fuel, and it's the guy that stays in the field longest wins the race. So hopefully we can just hold it to the mat and go on about our business.
Well, I know that you know how to get it done. Former series champion and all. We're always watching that race car. Thank you for stopping by. We've got they got them lined up here for me tonight. It's going to be
problem.
just, it'll be quick qualifying. You get one lap and go.
That's the way we like it, though.
Absolutely. Well, there's a whole brewery here, so I know the
a lot of
boys
people
love
here.
to have one.
Yeah, glad to have everybody come out to enjoy this deal. It's kicking off a good week of racing here for sure.
Shane Clanton, thank you for joining us.
No
we'll
problem.
be
Thank you.
having Carson Macedo come up next. So Clanton will exit, and we're going to bring up the new driver for Kyle Larson Racing coming up next. If you don't know, we're at 26 Acres Brewery in Concord, North Carolina. I'm Lenny Batycki, the host of PRN's At the Track, the broadcast radio show heard on 60 some odd stations in 14 states, all about grassroots racing. And if you tune in tomorrow when the show starts to permeate around, you're going to hear this guy on our show, Carson Macedo, talking about kind of some of the things that we talked about. I told you we'd basically do the interview again.
Yeah, that's all right.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Has it been a whirlwind? Have you been on the phone with all kinds of guys? Our friends at Wing Nation talked to you yet?
Not yet. But,
Posty.
Yeah, a few. But I've had a few interviews with obviously Post and all that good stuff. So it's good to be here. Huge turnout, so that's awesome.
The big bright lights, that's what it's going to be from now, for years and years to be a part of this. One of the things that when we talked yesterday that I found neat was, there's a lot of second generation and there's some third, but there's very few fourth generation drivers. You really have gotten this from the bloodline. Tell me about that family tree again, please. It's not just dad and grandpa and great-grandpa. There are others besides your younger brother that race too.
Right, so it just seems like it's ran in my family, you know what I mean? Like I was kind of destined to race. My great-grandfather, my grandfather, my dad, my mom, my aunt, they've even met husbands themselves, and obviously they've got into racing, and now their kids are too. My little cousin Gage Garcia races, my brother Cole Macedo. It just seems like it runs in the family, and it's obviously pretty cool that we all get to share the same passion. So,
all kind of the same sprint cars, just different eras?
Yeah, micros, sprint cars. Tommy Tarleton obviously is my cousin and somebody that I've drove for, and now kind of has been along the way in a lot of the other rides I've been in. But yeah, sprint cars, micros, quarter midgets. I mean, you name it. It just seems like they've all raced it and been a part of it. So when you go to family Christmas and everybody does the same thing, it's pretty easy to know what to talk about.
Well, now you're a regular on the World of Outlaws. They're going to be there. You get an extra dish of Thanksgiving dinner for sure.
Yeah. Need
Have
to stay
you
away
ever sat in great-grandpa's car? Is that still around?
No. My great-grandpa was my grandfather, he raced the same car that I actually started running a quarter midget in.
Okay.
Yeah, just practice. I mean, we never actually went and raced that car competitively, but, set up some cones and turn some laps in the front yard. That was fun. So it definitely, made me appreciate, just the family tradition, what everybody does, and I'm glad that I grew up passionate for it at a really young age.
So family part of it, and you're kind of bringing family with the, some Tarleton and Gertie going to come over and help you with the Kyle Larson deal. Is that a comfort level that is really gives you more foundation? Are you excited about what Kyle and all have, but this really should make it an easier transition?
Yeah, so obviously the last 2 years I've been able to drive for Joe Gertie. We've been able to build a notebook together and really get to know each other, and I think that's so important in sprint car racing. It seems like the bond that you can share with a team, and if you can stick together for a long period of time, the teams that have been successful, obviously like the 15 team at TSR with Donnie, and they've been together a long time. They have the same equipment, the same program, and they've been able to be really successful. So going into the world of Outlaws, obviously it's really tough. There's a lot of good drivers, a lot of good competition, and to be able to be with a familiar face straight off the bat and kind of already have that program going, I think it's definitely an advantage, and I'm excited for that.
Not only did you get the call or the text because you're young, from Kyle Larson saying, we want you for next year, but you got a call when the sport needed somebody to help us all through. And when Bobby called, you answered and did the right things. What was that period of this year like for you?
It's pretty surreal. Obviously, Knoxville for me was like a life-changing experience. To drive for JJR was obviously an honor in itself. Jason Johnson was one of the greatest sprint car drivers, in my opinion, that has ever lived. So to be able to fill that seat and fill those shoes was already a huge opportunity. But then to go to Knoxville and produce and really do well and have fun together, and my goal was to go in and have fun and make sure that they all had smiles on their faces, because I knew that it had been a long period of time for them that they had because of everything that had happened. So I had a lot of fun, and like I said, what an opportunity, and then to go there and do well together, and on that stage, Knoxville, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
No, they do so great there. Knoxville National, such an awesome thing. So there was certainly a different kind of pressure at that one, and then you get the call, and now you're here. But really, these two races, they're just starter races for you. You don't have to worry about points until next year and such. How freeing is that feeling to be able to just go out and just let her rip this weekend?
Yeah, that's kind of the attitude I went in at Knoxville with. It's just another race. People ask me, "Are you nervous? What are you going to do different?" I'm like, "Man, I'm not going to do anything different. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Like in the moment when you're sitting there on the qualifying, time trials, shoot, you're a little nervous. But for the most part, I knew I was just going to go there and drive as hard as I can, like I normally do. And whatever happens, happens. I was going to have fun doing it. So it's worked out so far. So hopefully this weekend it works out again.
Well, congratulations on the new ride. From all of us, thank you for what you did at Knoxville and all through that time with the 41. And we're just all excited about seeing this come together and what we're going to get to see in Florida and all throughout 19. I know you've got a pretty tight schedule and got to go, so we'll get someone else up here and all. But thank you for stopping by. And folks, you can hear Carson on PRN's At the Tracks Midwest Edition tomorrow after about 6 o'clock at night. So tune in and hear him and I chatting about it. Man, just good luck. You got such a cool future ahead of you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's really cool to be here, and what a great event they put on for the kickoff of the World of Outlaws and all that good stuff. So we're hoping for a good weekend, and we'll see how it goes.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Carson Macedo, everyone, joining us here. I think we've got Zach Leonardi coming up next, and if you don't know who Zach Leonardi is, if you watched earlier today on all of the World of Outlaws feeds, Zach was the iRacing champion on dirt, and he got to go around the dirt track here with Clint Boyer. So we're going to get him up here and talk a little bit about that. Zach Leonardi from Atlanta, Georgia area. Got to disclose to them how long we've known each other. Zach was a bando racer in the Georgia Legends, and you may have seen him on legendsnation.com, our sister station, and winning there,
Yeah.
Ray Cook Southern Nationals. Do you run Southern All-Star some?
No, I think I'm going to run that series next year, though. We're looking into doing that.
So you're a pretty good little dirt driver.
I'm all right.
And that Clint Smith guy help you a little bit?
Yeah. We're pretty close with Clint there, so.
Another Clint that you were with, though, today,
Yeah.
Clint Boyer. How cool of a day was it to be the iRacing champion and come here and do this?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, getting to meet Clint. He's a really nice guy, a real funny dude. So it was really nice meeting him and getting to drive his car and ride along with him. So it was a really cool experience for sure.
What in iRacing, 55-year-olds don't know much about the computer stuff other than my son plays, Fortnite.
Yeah.
How are you not on Fortnite, but you're on iRacing?
I don't play Fortnite, man.
That's a good
I'm
thing.
not into that.
But
I just do the
what's
racing
iRacing
simulator.
like?
So iRacing's, it's a racing simulator. So they laser scan all the tracks and laser scan all the cars, and everything's down to every little detail. And it's by far the most realistic simulator out there. So, like today, for instance, I'd never gotten to do the whole thing all the NASCAR drivers talk about. Like they go run iRacing and they go to a track they've never been to before, and it feels like they've been there before. Well, Charlotte today, I've never been on Charlotte, and it did not feel like a new racetrack to me. So it was a really cool experience for sure, and them guys really have that stuff really good.
With your late model racing that you do with your race car,
Yeah.
do you go and try to look at the tracks on iRacing and kind of give you an idea if you're going to run Sonoma, which I know you've ran there so many
Yeah.
times, but maybe like when you were at Florence earlier this summer?
Right. A little bit, but I'm on there a good enough amount, so it doesn't change a whole lot. But I definitely do, and I've tried. I changed a few setup things on there to see maybe something to try in the real car and stuff like that. So it definitely translates over really well.
So this competition, were you in, against 100 kids? How big of a field did you have to win to get to be called the iRacing champion?
So it started out with a qualifying series, which is open to everybody. So I think we ended up having about 350 people that ran in it. Not that ran the whole thing, but ran in it. And I think over 100 ran the whole thing. And then they took 35 out of that, the top 35 of us, and then ran the series. So it was 35 every week. It included some really good drivers, like Mike McKinney was in it, and Ricky Thornton Jr. was in it. They didn't get to run the whole series, but they ran a good bit of it. So it was pretty cool doing that. And it was average 30 cars every night. We had to go out and beat, make top 20, make sure we made the race, all that kind of stuff.
Wow. So what did you get for winning? They give you some Bose headsets or something? Did you get a new steering wheel for your simulator?
Well, I don't get a whole new steering deal, but one of the prizes was an MPI wheel. So I gotta find Max sometime and get that. It was a grand prize, $3,000 plus the $2,300 I got from race money. The ride along with Clint we did today. I get to be the flagger for one of the Outlaw races on Friday if it doesn't rain out. And sweet tickets and all that. Going to get introduced on the stage, and I get to go to the World Outlaws banquet and have an acceptance speech and get a trophy and all that kind of stuff.
So I know you're already racing your Rocket, I believe.
Yeah.
You got a Rocket by
Yes,
Clint
sir.
Smith. Do you see now with all that you see here that you look to hopefully maybe be a World of Outlaws late model racer soon?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to do that. I want to race one of the national tours at some point. Just got to get the funding behind us and some more experience where it seems logical. But for sure, that's definitely a goal of mine. I really want to be able to race on a national tour and go around and race week to week with the best of the best in the country.
Well, we look forward to seeing it. Zach Leonardi, the iRacing Dirt Champion. You could see him throughout the social media of the World of Outlaws and iRacing from today when he got to go around the track with Clint Boyer. Man, that had to be fun. Thank you for stopping by, and we've got more racers. In fact, we're going to go in costume next. So we'll say goodbye to you, and we've got there are people here in costume, and I don't know whether Tony has shown you some of the folks that are around here in costume, but I mean, everybody. I thought I saw Brian Carter in costume earlier, but they said no, that guy in the full suit wasn't Carter. But we got a surfer coming up here from Florida. Here he comes. He plays a lifeguard at the racetrack. Jeff Hockman from World Racing Group. And the Florida deal is really just around the corner, isn't it? We get to go to Volusia soon. Turn that on.
It's right around the corner, but before we get into that, look at this out here.
That's
Think
World of
about where
Outlaws.
this started about 5-6 years ago.
Yep.
I mean, look at the people out there. Jimmy Phelps, Rick Eckert, Dominic Selzy. I mean, Brian Carter, Clinton. I mean, everybody's out here. I mean, this is a big deal. This is really part of the World Finals. This is a cool deal.
This is where the fans get that kickoff party for the big one, where all dirt roads lead.
This is awesome. World Finals is one in a kind. I mean, one of a kind. It's special. This is really cool. I'm lucky enough to work some of the biggest events in DirtCar racing, and Super Dirt Week and DirtCar Nationals, which we're going to talk about. But World Finals, I mean, this is special. And thank you for everybody who's come.
Thank you guys for making this, because the excellence of World Racing Group and the guys, when we get the Super Dirt Car officials in those ready meetings that I get to be in, you can tell that every person in that room is trying to do the best job they've ever done in their career every time we're in those meetings. That's amazing. That's esprit de corps that is unlike any other.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Charlotte Motor Speedway and their whole crew, World Racing Group, I mean, I'd put those two groups up against anybody
and
putting on an event.
You got a lot of tracks that have sent one or two individuals here. Some of those tracks, to help out in case we need track prep, safety, things like that. You can shout them out. Some that have joined us to make this that big World Finals.
All over the country. I mean, Rob Platfoot from Eldora, Larry and Eric Fink up from New York. I mean, this is the World Finals. It's the best of the best. Not just on the track, but everything.
So we do this. We get a couple of months to hose the mud off the things, put the new sponsor decals on, freshen things up. But it goes by in the blink of an eye between Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and we're pointed down to the Sunshine State. What's going to be special when we get back to Florida?
Well, there is no off season, so we're already working on February, and February is a big deal. I mean, it's not just the Daytona 500. The 12 nights at Volusia are huge. And, everybody knows that we kept Volusia when we started selling tracks, and that became our marquee track. And last year we put a catch fence up in turn 1 and 2 and a nice cement wall. This year we're doing it all down the front stretch from turn 4 to turn 1. And you know what? When you get to Charlotte this weekend, go stand down by the flag stand, look up, and subtract 2 rows, because that's what you're going to see in the middle section of Volusia. We're putting in some new grandstands. We're upgrading the facility. We got some GA, but who wants GA? We got reserved. We got premium reserved. We're working towards a trophy deck. I mean, the place is going to be awesome.
You got gators still? I want to see gators.
We got gators, and all the drivers out here tonight, that's all they want. They want a gator. I mean, you look at social media when they win a gator, I mean, it's a big deal.
It's an amazing event, and you've got special things lined up, 12 different nights down there. Any twists to that you can reveal yet?
Oh, I mean, all kinds of twists. I mean, we got packages that accommodate everybody. I mean, we've added a night last year to the big block modifieds. We added a night to the World of Outlaw late models. I mean, we have packages that accommodate any type of fan. And on top of that, you can get all 12 nights. But the twist is you get to see the 3 premier series in one location over 12 days. And after that, I mean, let's be honest. It's racing. We all love racing. Let's go to the Daytona 500.
Well, and that's what I was going to compare it to, because when you were at Daytona for the stock car stuff, you get to see the new cars. So you're going to see Carson Macedo, Shane Stewart, Dominic Scelzi, who's in the crowd. You're going to see gravel in the 41. You're going to get to see all of the new on display. And I think it's all of the new like it's never been. This is such a big turn year that race in Florida is going to be spectacular new images. Dave Brio and his camera are going to get worn out taking shots.
Some great announcements. Up till noon today, I think the last announcement was. But how awesome. I mean, we have the best of the best in the drivers in all 3 series that are here throughout the weekend. And they're going to be on Showcase in Florida in February. And, and then another 91 races or 94 races or 55 races. But it's not just the sprint cars. I mean, it's the late models. It's the big block modifieds. I mean, seriously, This place is awesome.
Well, you're awesome. That outfit, you going to have stuff like that down there in Florida again?
Oh, yeah. You know what? We'll have all kinds of tropical stuff. Something new every year.
Send him some of that white stuff for his nose so he doesn't burn when he gets to Florida. Jeff, we got to go. We got a break here. Where can they get tickets?
Tickets at DirtCarNationals.com. But you can always call us at the office. Gina loves to take the calls. She calls them their own fans. 844-DIRT-TICKS. So it's we're here for you. We're looking forward to putting on 2019, but let's have fun at 2018 World Finals right now.
Jeff Hackman, everybody, from World Racing Group. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have the lead singer of the band that's going to be rocking out post-race on Friday night, Dirty Grass Souls. Kevin Dedman will join us to tell us all about the song list, some things like that, and then we'll be back to drivers as we head towards 8 o'clock and beyond. Stay with us. We'll be right back from 26 Acres here at PRN's At the Track Live.
Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. World's fastest half mile. 12 straight nights of double features. World of Outlaws. DirtCar Modifieds. February 5th through the 16th. Custom ticket packages and camping. Plus all new grandstands. Who will take home the Gator? Be there to find out. For tickets and information, go to DirtCarNationals.com. Be there.
Main event underway at Dodge City Raceway Park. Ian Matson jumps to the lead as they race through turns 1 and 2. Jason Sides a little off the pace in the second corner, loses 4 spots, now gathers it back in. Ian Matson leads the opening lap. Donnie Schatz in second. Sheldon Hodenshield rides in the third spot. Darren Pittman fourth, and Brent Marks in fifth. Shots to the inside in turn 3, and Matson moves down to protect the line, but again, Matson having difficulty in traffic on a lightning fast and narrow racetrack. Jumps over the cushion, and Donnie Schatz takes advantage. Donnie Schatz to the lead out of turn 2. Schatz takes advantage of Ian Matson's miscue in traffic and grabs the race lead. Matson in second, Sheldon Hodenshield in third. Schatz leads lap number 9. Caution on the speedway. 1 lap to go for Donnie Schatz. Ian Matson, 6 car lengths back into turn 1. Both drivers ride the cushion through 1 and 2. Back straightaway for the final time. A little bit of a bobble in turn 2 for Matson. Last ditch effort will fall short, and Donnie Schatz wins at Dodge City Raceway Park. Ian Matson in second. Darren Pittman third. Brad Sweet fourth, and Brian Brown in fifth. He's out and headed up top, ladies and gentlemen. Your main event winner, Donnie Schatz. We are ready for the green flag on the FVP Platinum Battery Shootout at Lakeside Speedway. Darren Pittman jumps to the lead as they reach corner number 1. Logan Schuhart right behind him in the second spot, challenging down the back straightaway. Pace, Logan Schuhart is broken. Something amiss on the 1S. A lot of moisture on the racetrack. There's something coming out of the back end of the 1S as the car broke coming out of turn 4. Hodenshield, here's Schatz again to the inside of Hodenshield, down the back straightaway. Donnie Schatz back to second as they reach turn 3. Schatz in second, but 2.5 seconds behind the race leader. We're down to the white flag. 1 lap to go for Darren Pittman. Donnie Schatz not close enough to try anything in turn 1. Pittman still dealing with Hunter Schurenberg. Works around the outside, but Schurenberg moves up the racetrack. Can Schatz pull off a miracle in 3 and 4? Schatz to the inside. Pittman on the cushion out of turn 4 for the final time. Give the win to Darren Pittman. Donnie Schatz finishes second. Sheldon Hodenshield comes home third.
Up top fans, your winner here tonight of the FVP Platinum Battery Shootout, Darren Pittman. Win number 9 for the number 9 car of the season.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Billy Whitaker Cars 200 is good to go. Jimmy Phelps takes the lead as they head off of corner number 4. First time down the front straightaway. The Baldwinsville Bandit has the lead. The Ravina Rocket, Keith Flack the second. It's Gary Lindbergh, Tim Sears Jr., and Peter Britton, the top 5. Farney says, let's go green, and the drivers agree.
Off at turn number 4, down they come. Jimmy Phelps up on the outside. He'll have the slight advantage when they get down to turn number 1. And Jimmy Phelps will come off the top and go back to the top spot. Jimmy Phelps back to the lead. Larry White riding second. Here's Stuart Friesen up on the outside of Billy Dunn. Dunn on the inside. Friesen on the outside. That's the battle for third. As they work it into turns 1 and 2, Dunn. He's got the utility belt out again on the top side. Looking to grab something into turn number 1. Down into turn number 1 they go. Lightning Larry peeking up to the outside of Jimmy Phelps, trying to get a run on the outside. Phelps widens his line. Larry White changes lanes. He pulls even with the Bandit down at turn number 3. They're side by side through 3 and 4. Lightning Larry going to be your new leader off the corner. Larry White up to the number 1 position. Jimmy Phelps right there. But White Lightning trades him down the bank straightaway into quarter number 3 and 4. The LJL Racing Tracy Road Equipment Machine. Here comes Friesen on the top side. Oswego, get ready. Lightning is going to strike as he wins the Whitaker Cars and Trucks 200. Whitaker Cars 200, a driver of the 99L of Lightning, Larry White.
To 26 acres. We're at 26 acres in Concord, North Carolina, and you're looking live. There's Dennis Clem moving with a couple of brewskis in that crowd out there from Indiana, our track prep specialist, and so many other great people. I'm Lenny Batycki, and you're looking now just outside of our doors at the Craftsman Challenge. They're giving the words, Corey telling them, you got to hold your arms out. And they're going to give them the signal when to do that. And then if they start to drop, they're going to lose. But somebody's going to get some cool World of Outlaws Craftsman swag. And we're about to see them get the call. Those boxes, how long can they keep them up? Well, while they do that, we'll turn inward. And we're on set here. Kevin Dedman, the lead singer of Dirty Grass Soul. You may have seen him at Eldora, other racetracks around the country. And on Friday night, after the races in the pavilion at ZMAX Dragway, we're going to put on a show for you with this guy and Dirty Grass Soul from right around the corner in Shelby, North Carolina. Now, I like fiddles and rain, but on Friday, you just bring the fiddles, keep the rain away.
Yeah, I was looking at the forecast. I'm not playing fiddles and rain Friday night. Well, if the rain hopefully avoids us Friday night, I might play it afterwards.
So you really love this business because you're a fan of it as much as the fans are now fans of Dirty Grass Soul and you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, Lenny. I got into dirt racing from an early age. My grandfather actually used to water the track at Thunder Valley in Lawndale.
Lawndale, yeah.
Yes, sir. And so I grew up cheering on guys like Mike Duval, the Flintstone Flyer, Freddie Smith, those guys like that, and really got into dirt racing from a young age.
And you were telling me you were thrilled to meet Zach Leonardi because you're an iRacer.
Yeah, I made the Pro Series as well. Zach actually whooped my tail pretty good in the Pro Series. I qualified for the Pro Series. I think I ran 16th or 17th in the points, though. But
so you get to play a lot of tracks, events like ours. What was it like at Eldora? We know, guys, we've talked to Shane Stewart's won at Eldora. But for a musician to play at Eldora, that's a pretty good win, too.
Absolutely. We actually, when I went up there, and that was the only race this year that I've got to go to because the unfortunate part of the music scheduling is usually we're playing shows when the races are going on. And, of course, I went up World 100 weekend when it was just a complete wash and it rained. So we actually wound up putting on a campground party, and it was a great time. Hung out with a lot of the racers, met Mike Norris, my buddy from up at Falls Fairbury Speedway, and
hey Mike, we know you're watching.
Yeah, I know he's watching, so give a shout out to him and Falls, the guys up there. But we had a great time, and I've met so many people in the dirt racing community, and I'm excited to be a part of it this weekend as well.
Now you've got your new album broke just a little while ago, and today you made news as well, Dirty Grass Soul.
Yes, sir. We released our newest music video. It's the title track off of our new album. We released it August 23rd of this year. The album's called New Day of Work, and the song is New Day of Work also. So if you go visit our website and our Facebook pages, you can check, and YouTube as well, you can go check out our new music video.
Where can we get your music? How do we? Is it an iThing we download? What do we do?
Yeah, you can get our music anywhere. We're on all digital platforms. You're, obviously iTunes, Spotify, Amazon. But then you can, if you want a physical copy of the CD, which some folks still like that, you go to our website, Dirty Grass Soul or dgsoul.com, and you can pick up a physical copy there.
Corey Glass, one of our accounting department, is a big Dirty Grass Soul fan. Now, one of his friends from PRN turned him on to it. If we're talking to this audience, what are 2 or 3 of your songs that they should look up if they haven't heard what you do already?
I don't know. I would have to say probably one of mine. One of my favorites that we do is a song called "Home Is on the Highway." I know a lot of dirt people. That's the reason I've grown attached to the dirt racing community, is I feel like the lifestyle's very similar to being a musician. You're on the road all the time, and you develop the people you're competing against or you travel around with become like family. So I would say "Home Is on the Highway," maybe "Fiddles and Rain," of course, and. I don't know, a new one off of our CDs, one I wrote for my grandfather, who was the truck driver I told you that watered Thunder Valley back in the day, called Granddaddy Was a Trucker. Maybe check that one out too.
So there's 3 songs. Here's Kevin Dedman, Dirty Grass Soul, Friday night at ZMAX Dragways Pavilion after the World of Outlaws World Finals on Friday. You got to rock out with us there and get you some Dirty Grass Soul. They are a band that feels it and loves it like we do. Kevin, we got to let you go. We've got the driver, the defending champion of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model Series, the driver of the Valvoline Rocket, Brandon Shepard, about to come up. So Mike Norris there at Fouls. You got another Illinois person coming up. And how's that Craftsman Challenge doing out back? Have they already done? Wow, got done really quick there. Also want to remind all the fans that are tuning in that'll be out here with us tomorrow that the schedule has been moved back 1 hour. So the posted times from earlier in the week have scooched back just a little bit so that we can get everything tightened up and in. But my buddy here, how you feeling? A couple weeks ago you're kind of worn out. Turn on. There you go. That should work.
Yeah, I was a little bit under the weather last time I talked to you, but I'm feeling a lot better this week.
Yeah, I could tell you got a little of the World Finals excitement in there. Now you're 40 points. What you gonna do to push all that aside? Go get us some wins there with that big Valvoline car.
Yeah, that's the only thing we can look at is getting wins. You know, that's what we came here for. We got a lot of tough competition on our tour this year, and just like we do every year, I should say. But you know, it's definitely going to be a fun weekend. We've got a really fast race car, and we've been really consistent all year long. We've had a little bit of bad luck, but you know, my team stood behind me the whole time, and I got to thank Mark Richards and Steve Baker for giving me this opportunity to keep driving this thing, and hopefully we can put it in victory lane a couple times this weekend.
You know, we all act like, you know, where you're at in points is such a boo-hoo deal. You won the most races this year. You put that Valvoline Rocket there in victory lanes all across the tour. I mean, that's a good season for anyone. It's that change, though, isn't it, from being the hunter to being the hunted, and now third ain't quite what it was.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's not very much pressure even being third in the points just because we're behind. You know, if we were 40 points ahead in the lead, you know, I'd be a little bit more, I guess, worried that something might happen or something might go one way or the other. But, you know, the whole team's got a really good attitude right now, and we're just going into it, hoping for the best and hoping for a few wins.
What has this year been like being the series champion for the World of Outlaws? What things did you do that you didn't understand or didn't realize that they would ask of a champion? Things like coming on my show and doing all of that. I know you had done before, but you know, did they have to, you know, take you to Chicago, New York, some different things? I know you had to go to Lexington to Travis and everybody at Valvoline. That had to be a pretty cool day.
Yeah, we went and hung out with everybody at Valvoline there, and that was really cool for me. But besides that, we didn't do a whole lot of different stuff, just all the stuff that comes with driving for Mark Richards. So it's just a lot of fun, and you know, like you said, the Valvoline deal was awesome, and you know, they treat us like family, and it's a really good relationship we have with all them guys, and we hope to keep it up.
You're a dirt car guy, whether it's World of Outlaws or DirtCar. You've got your own car back at home. Where are you at in the process with that? You going to do a little racing before the year ends? Now that the season is about to end for the World of Outlaws.
I'm pretty much done with it, with everything after this weekend until the Dome in St. Louis. I'm going to take my car over there, and then you'll probably see us in Arizona too in January before we go to Florida also. So,
when you go to Arizona, will you be in Richard's car or will you be in your family car?
my family car.
Family car for both of those. When do you get back in the Rocket for Mark?
I think we'll leave probably last week of January to go down to Florida to test and stuff, and then we start there in February.
Well, you said it there, testing. Will you put stuff on the 5? Is 5's your family car, right? On the 5 that maybe you can transfer over to the other car?
No, I try not to steer away from the textbook stuff. I try not to get too out of whack because then, just you get off track and it's kind of hard to find your way back when you get off track, especially with these cars. The technology's come so far over the years that you just kind of got to keep a good balance underneath of it, and that's what I try to do all the time. And Mark does a really good job with that, and he really knows how to read my driving style and everything. So it's a lot more difficult for me to go home and drive my own car because I don't have Mark there to tell me what he sees in the car on the track. I can just go off a feel, and it definitely makes it a lot more difficult. Mark's really smart with the cars when it comes to that.
Mark was here. I consider Mark a friend. Mark is one of those guys that makes sure things are done this way and such. But now you had a championship. And when there was the discussions, just like with Earnhardt and Childress when I worked there, they were passionate about winning. But was there a little different voice from you and that, but I want this? Were you asking for different things this year, I guess?
No, not really. We try to keep an open mind on what we need for the car and what the car wants, and just like I said, try to keep a good balance under it, and that's basically what we base our whole program around, is a good balanced race car. And like I said, he's just really good at reading that, and that's where it's hard for me to go drive my own car because of that balance factor.
And by the way, that's a compliment to you that even though you were a champion, you knew that you had the right formula with what Mark had given, and upsetting that apple cart would have been wrong. So that was the exact right answer I was hoping you would say. So you got next year anywhere in your sights, for 19 new things, and anything that, you're looking forward to getting back and going, I missed it and I want that track next year?
I think we all have them tracks where we wish we could go back to and do over again. There's none really that come to mind big time, but we're always trying to improve, and I know there's going to be a few new tracks on the tour, and there's going to be some tracks that we don't get to go to again that'll probably be disappointing not to be able to go back to. But I'm just happy to be racing. Honestly, I'm a 4th generation racer, and that's all I know. So it means the world to me.
You got to go talk to Macedo and trade 4th generation stories. Now, his mom and aunt also raced. Did any of the ladies in your family ever race?
No, but they're always involved in the racing and everything. My grandpa's sisters, they all 3 married racers, and so that just put a whole nother wing on the family tree. So it's definitely cool, and there's a lot of old stories when we all gather together and at Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. Always a lot of stories, and not many for me. I get to sit around and listen to most of them. So
just absorb all of that. When you were young, was it like Mike Hammerly, Chuck Amati? Were those names big because Illinois?
Oh yeah, Mike Hammerly. My dad raced against Mike a lot growing up. I didn't get to watch Mike in his prime a lot because I was too young to really see that. But my uncle Ed Bauman, my dad, they were pretty much my heroes growing up. When I couldn't go to the track, they brought me videos home and I watched the whole time. They were VCRs at that point. But I just love going to the racetrack, and that's that's all I've ever wanted to do. And luckily, I'm very, very fortunate that Mark Richards, seen how hard I was working and took a chance on me, and it's really paid off for me.
Well, the chance paid off for us because we get to see you at this level really perform. I know your family's proud of you. You got so many fans out there that we hear through what I do at PRN's At the Track. You'll be fine. Third, first, whatever. We can't wait to see you back in Florida and all the rest. Brandon, thank you for stopping by once again. He was a guest last week on PRN's At the Track radio show. Here with us tonight. Watch that Valvoline rocket. And say hey to Travis for us, will you?
Thanks, Lenny. Yeah, I gotta thank everybody at Valvoline there. Travis, Brad Paxton, just all them guys. They really mean the world to me and Mark Richards and everybody and the whole team.
They're all out at Vegas having a big time out there. Brandon Shepard, the defending 2017 World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Model champion, going into this weekend. Still got that shot. Just 40 points out. Come on over here. Now, not only Bobby Johnson has had quite a year, and our hearts flew with you. You knew that.
Sorry.
And Carson was up here and through all of that. Now you turn the page today, make the big David Gravel announcement. How does that moment feel?
At first I thought it'd feel really awesome, but at the same time, traveling down the race rig today in the overwhelming support of the racing community, it has my heart really broken, more so. Quite a few tears were shed in the back of the rig as Philip drove down with Jax on our side. And I know I'll enjoy it. It's just the whole understanding and reality hit today that Jason won't be in the 41 car no more.
Jax making that announcement, was that you? Was that some slick marketing person? That was so special.
That was actually me within 2 hours to spare before we were going to release it. I was like, well, everyone wants Jax to be part of this deal, so how do we make him part? And Phil's like, I don't know, you figure something out. So we were all back there laughing, and I'm like, what if he says it? And I'm like, Jax, can you even say all that stuff?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, wait a minute, what I say now? Well, what about this? What about that? And we had quite a few takes first before he spit it out a few times.
How proud have you been of him, and how through all of this, not only has he taken all these cameras and microphones and people in his face, but he's done what his dad would like.
Yeah, he's a lot of Jason's personality, very quiet and reserved, doesn't talk very much, but if you ask him to do something, he's definitely going to be there to do it. Like as far as my t-shirt deal, like a lot of nights I'll ask him to go sign autographs, like to send out a card with all of our, everyone that's been buying stuff and supporting us that way. And he actually does, and he's like, how big, how small can I make it? You know, because in math class he's learning about few or more, or, you know, heights, bigger, smaller. So we apply a lot of that to you know, what goes on at the race shop. And it's funny because the teacher was even making mention that, like, you know, when he's doing math, she'll say, well, what happened in this turn or what happened in that turn? He adds a number 5 always to the turns in the racetrack and stuff, but then she'll say, oh, he said Donnie Schatz won and this went on and that went on. She just said, I'm learning a lot.
Does he kind of go to the car one day and want to talk to the mechanics and then want to know about, like you said, the t-shirts and the business side? Can you get a sense, you know, does he want to follow the owner's side, or do you think he'll be under the car or in that seat?
He keeps saying he's going to take Uncle Phil's job, and that's being a mechanic. He's really not, if he doesn't have control of it, he doesn't like it. For whatever reason, Jason tried to really push him to get in that little non-wing thing that somebody sent him, or Kenny Graver sent him, but he's just not for it much. Like, the boys even went and prepped the track and everything else, but they really had to coax him to get out there. So it might not be his cup of tea, so it's kind of like whatever, Jason used to say, whatever he wants to do, we're supporting, whether he wants to go golfing and not even be around the race car thing, but hopefully he wants to be.
First woman to be the full-time owner next year. That's going to carry some interesting conversation with media types all over the country. Is there anything that you've thought about being that yet?
I didn't even realize that or know that until I walked in here a while ago. And I really would like Jason Johnson to be beside me, but that isn't going to happen. So I need to pick up the pieces and continue on. Like Phil said, Jason wrote us a book. We need to keep making chapters and flipping pages and make his dream a reality of he never wanted to get up to the World of Outlaw level until he could win a championship. So that's our intention with this team.
Your journey is special for all of us to be there to try to just give our hearts and whatever we can and to watch. And, you know, you're a warrior, but you are more than that. You're an outlaw, a World of Outlaws outlaw. Bobby, thank you for taking the time to join us. We've got just a pile of drivers coming through here, but thank you for stopping by. So special to have you with us. Jason was here a couple times, I think, in the other 2 locations. So nice to have you join us tonight.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you for all your support. We greatly appreciate it.
Bobby Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. We've got more drivers coming up. In fact, we've got coming up now, you know, PFC has been there for us to help bring you these last 2 events, last year and this year. And Randy Keene with PFC coming to the set right now. You help so many racers. Forget us TV guys trying to turn the lights on here. PFC matters to these racers. What do you got, you know, as we head towards the Indy show? What are you cooking up that we should know about, you know, we're going to get to see from PFC?
Well, I'll tell you, Lenny, you know, first thing, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. This is huge for PFC. Of course, we're in several different, you know, markets in motorsports, you know, but dirt racing is huge to us. It's a passion for us. So anyway, this, you know, this caliper, the ZR24 caliper, we had the biggest win of the year with Tim McCready in the world.
Yep.
At Eldora. So
that's what won the World 100?
That's the World 100 right there. And the neat thing about that caliper is next year in 2019, and we'll announce this at PRI, we're going to reduce the price on this package.
Wow.
So to give you know, more opportunity for people to you know, to purchase the best that's available. And we realize, you know, with all the traveling and you know, with the series and, you know, the sponsors, you know, there's not a lot of huge sponsors with the team, so we want to give back and kind of give our best product, a better price for everybody.
And
So-
you've got people that are there for these racers. If you get PFC brakes, you don't just get a box and that in it.
Yeah.
You get people like Chris Dilbeck that they can call and get,
Absolutely.
just like with the chassis people, they can call up and ask chassis questions, shocks. You guys have those experts available in all the series.
Yeah, and that's a testament to PFC. If there's a race going on any weekend, we have representation there. Not only sales representation, but we have our technical support with engineering staff.
Do you learn from the racers that you support?
Absolutely. You know, and that's one big thing in the dirt market is just collaboration. And, you know, PFC is not trying to develop and design a package to where, hey, use it and good luck. It's feedback from the drivers and the crew chiefs. You know, I can't say enough about Kevin Rumley and Davenport over the last several years of, you know, just the feedback they've given us and also the big block
But you
modifieds.
work with a guy like RJ Auto, you know, running
Absolutely.
around his modified
absolutely.
around the South.
We're I mean, from Stuart Friesen to Shepard, of course, Mike Mahaney, a lot of our big block modified teams and sprint cars. You know, that's one package that we're developing now. And Mike Mahaney actually is the only sprint car in the country that is running this package currently. So, yeah, I mean, just a lot of big things coming up. And again, with the drivers, you know, their feedback is everything to us, and it keeps us wanting to come back week after week.
Now, you're going to be at track throughout the weekend. Have you got a display that folks can stop by at, or one of the technical trailers parked in one of the pit areas?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, of course, SRI Products is one of our largest distributors. They'll be on site with our packages available. We also have, every year, we have a VIP tent, you know, on the back stretch with SRI, and so we welcome all the drivers and teams to come visit us there as well.
If those racers that are watching now want to get on the phone tomorrow, get on the internet, where do they do to be in touch with PFC?
You know, pfcbrakes.com. You can start there. We've got all of our distributors listed throughout the country. And then, of course, all your social media outlets. And one neat thing about this weekend, PFC is partnered up with the World of Outlaw Super Late Model Series, and we do the Quick Time Award, which we've done it this year. We'll do it again next year and years to come. So it's just another big event for us to, we're in Clover, South Carolina, have a lot of our, actually the owners of the company will be attending this weekend and go out and meet the drivers and teams. So all around, it's a big weekend for PFC.
Well, we appreciate what you do for us, and I know Mahaney's over there. I can't wait to get a big block modified racer on. Randy, thank you for joining us. Thank you for having us, this opportunity to talk to everybody with all these other cool racers for the Quick Time Award for the World of Outlaws Craftsman Late Models, and just darn it, all the great things you guys make down there in South Carolina to help them stop and get going again fast.
That's it, man. I appreciate it, and believe it or not, brakes are huge in dirt racing. So, but yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next year.
Randy Keene from PFC. Check out pfcbrakes.com. Their social media is stellar. You'll want to follow them. Coming up now, talk about big block modifieds. Mike Mahaney will be coming up to join us. And, I owe you one here. I hadn't kept up as much on you this year as I should have. And what's the season been like for you?
It's been up and down. We started out real strong out the gate, and then towards the middle of the season, we started rebuilding, and we worked on the shop and our trailer and our equipment, and came out guns blazing after that, and we were really strong towards the end of the season here, and we've had a lot of top 10s and top 5s, good finishes, and we're going into the World Finals here to have another strong run. So.
You have Mandy to talk to before and after the races and such. What is that when she could say, "Well, I remember when Dad had that." That bond that she could quietly get your focus back on it. How cool is that?
Well, she does have a lot of experience in watching the races and around a lot of different types of racing, as do I. And when we talk about things afterwards, we can really go into detail on what she saw behind the scenes and what I saw on the track and kind of fight over it.
Do you have to make sure that the toothbrush is right in the right spot, or she'll say, "Hey, it needs to be over there where the wheel covers go," or do you have some little language like that at home, any?
I don't know. We're pretty comfortable the way things are. I don't know.
How about PFC Brakes? You've been really leading their R&D and their charge into the big blocks. What are you finding out that, this stuff really is good?
Well, just putting them on the car made such a difference right away. And then, of course, Randy comes to the track and gave us a lot of expertise on how to set up the brakes with the brake bias and the different pads and different size rotors and calipers and everything. And once you get that balance right, you can just attack the corner so much harder. And then coming off the corner, there's so much less drag on the calipers, and you get so much more power out of your engine.
The adjustability and the depth of product has to be something that's really refreshing to be able to say, "I'd like to change it just this much," and you can do that.
Yeah, and they're super consistent, high quality parts. When you put them on, you're just really impressed with the machine work and everything. And you can tell. Also, I'd run a number of different cars, all over the place, running modified sprint cars, speedsters, and when you get into the different cars, some of them I can't have those brakes on, and you notice the difference right away.
Wow.
When you can have it, and then you get back in it, and it's such an advantage.
What was one of the things when you put them on, those first couple of times that you thought should be one way, and now, wow, if I just got a pair for my big block, not that I have a big block, but what would you tell me, what would be that first bit of advice a racer needs to understand that is a difference, but a positive difference that they wouldn't know?
Well, you're going to have a much more solid pedal feel. So right away there, you're just going to initially notice that there's just more ability to stop. So you don't have to work as hard. And you'll just have a consistent feel, so you won't have to really even think about it. It's one less thing to think about while you're driving.
So you were second or third? I remember you podium last year here.
Last year we timed on the pole both nights.
Yeah.
And we finished 5th the first night and 3rd the second night. And we didn't really redraw that well. And that's a big part of it. You can put it on the pole and then you redraw and you go right back to the back. So, hopefully we can do the same thing qualifying again this year. And then hopefully, luck's on our side and we can maybe start up front. If not, hopefully you got a fast enough car to pass our way to the front.
What makes this track fun? It obviously fits you. What's the comfort zone that makes this place really hit where you like?
I really like it here when there's a lot of grip in the track, nice heavy cushion, a lot of speed. That's my style. I just I like to be able to use the engine in the car, and that plays into my hand when it's like that. When it blows off a little slicker, we got to work on the car to get it hooked up to be able to have that same speed that we had when it was heavier. So, this red, rich Charlotte clay is what I think helps me.
Well, Dennis Clem, our track prep guy, is somewhere out there, and he's already got a couple of beers I saw him buying on one of our videos. Go buy him another and tell him, make it this way for Mike, okay?
Yes, I will do.
Well, Mike Mahaney, I'll be doing Victory Lane again. I look forward to seeing you there on the podium with us, maybe a few more spots up.
All right, thanks for having me on. Look for me in the Buzz 288 car. Appreciate it.
PFC Brakes, Mike Mahaney, Super Dirt Car Series, big block modified racer. We've got time for a break, so we're going to go to it. We'll break. We'll come back to 26 acres in Concord, North Carolina, where racing lives, Cabarrus County, North Carolina, with the World of Outlaws World Finals presented by Can-Am Kickoff Party right here on Pit Row TV from PFC Brakes. We'll be back.
It's Florida in February. Sprint cars, late models, modifieds. Kickoff 2019 with the DirtCar Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. World's fastest half mile. 12 straight nights of double features. World of Outlaws. DirtCar Modifieds. February 5th through the 16th. Custom ticket packages and camping. Plus all new grandstands. Who will take home the Gator? Be there to find out. For tickets and information, go to DirtCarNationals.com. Be there.
Main event underway at Dodge City Raceway Park. Ian Matson jumps to the lead as they race through turns 1 and 2. Jason Sides a little off the pace in the second corner, loses 4 spots, now gathers it back in. Ian Matson leads the opening lap. Donnie Schatz in second. Sheldon Hodenshield rides in the third spot. Jaron Pittman fourth, and Brent Marks in fifth. Shots to the inside in turn 3, and Matson moves down to protect the line, but again, Matson having difficulty in traffic on a lightning fast and narrow racetrack, jumps over the cushion, and Donnie Schatz takes advantage. Donnie Schatz to the lead out of turn 2. Schatz takes advantage of Ian Matson's miscue in traffic and grabs the race lead. Matson in second, Sheldon Hodenshield in third. Schatz leads lap number 9. Caution on the speedway. 1 lap to go for Donnie Schatz. Ian Matson 6 car lengths back into turn 1. Both drivers ride the cushion through 1 and 2. Back straightaway for the final time. A little bit of a bobble in turn 2 for Matson. Last ditch effort will fall short, and Donnie Schatz wins at Dodge City Raceway Park. Ian Matson in second. Darren Pittman third. Brad Sweet fourth, and Brian Brown in fifth. He's out and headed up top, ladies and gentlemen. Your main event winner, Donnie Schatz. We are ready for the green flag on the FVP Platinum Battery Shootout at Lakeside Speedway. Darren Pittman jumps to the lead as they reach corner number 1. Logan Schuhart right behind him in the second spot, challenging down the back straightaway. Pace, Logan Schuhart is broken. Something amiss on the 1S. A lot of moisture on the racetrack. There's something coming out of the back end of the 1S as the car broke coming out of turn 4. Hodenshield, here's Schatz again to the inside of Hodenshield, down the back straightaway. Donnie Schatz back to second as they reach turn 3. Schatz in second, but 2.5 seconds behind the race leader. We're down to the white flag. 1 lap to go for Darren Pittman. Donnie Schatz not close enough to try anything in turn 1. Pittman still dealing with Hunter Schurenberg. Works around the outside, but Schurenberg moves up the racetrack. Can Schatz pull off a miracle in 3 and 4? Schatz to the inside. Pittman on the cushion out of turn 4 for the final time. Give the win to Darren Pittman. Donnie 30 shots, finishes second. Sheldon Hodenshield comes home third.
Coming up, top fans, your winner here tonight of the FVP Platinum Banner Shootout, Darren Pittman. Win number 9 for the number 9 car of the season.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Billy Whitaker Cars 200 is good to go.
Jimmy Phelps takes the lead as they head off of corner number 4. First time down the front straightaway. The Baldwinsville Bandit has the lead. The Ravina Rocket Keith Black to second. It's Gary Lindbergh, Tim Sears Jr., and Peter Britton, the top 5. Farney says, let's go green, and the drivers agree. Off at turn number 4, down they come. Jimmy Phelps up on the outside. He'll have the slight advantage when they get down to turn number 1. And Jimmy Phelps will come off the top and go back to the top spot. Jimmy Phelps back to the lead. Larry White riding second. Here's Stuart Friesen up on the outside of Billy Dunn. Dunn on the inside. Friesen on the outside. That's the battle for third. As they work it into turns 1 and 2, Dunn.
He's got the utility belt out again on the top side, looking to grab something into turn number 1.
Down into turn number 1 they go. Lightning Larry peeking up to the outside of Jimmy Phelps, trying to get a run on the outside. Phelps widens his line. Larry White changes lanes. He pulls even with the Bandit down to turn number 3. They're side by side through 3 and 4. Lightning Larry going to be your new leader off the corner.
Larry White up to the number 1 position. Jimmy Phelps right there.
White
Lightning trace him down the back straightaway into corner number 3 and 4. The LJL Racing Tracy Road Equipment Machine. Here comes Friesen on the top side. Oswego, get ready. Lightning is going to strike as he wins the Whitaker Cars and Trucks 200. Whitaker Cars 200, a driver of the 99L of Lightning, Larry White.
Fell in love with fiddles and rain.
Welcome back to 26 Acres in Concord, North Carolina. The World of Outlaws World Finals presented by Can-Am PRN at the track live. I'm Lenny Batycki, joined by one of my favorite guests, Brett Hearn, up here on stage with us. And I'm telling you, not only Brett, we got a stack of racers out there from Dominic Scelzi, Parker Price Miller, we got a Rick Eckert. They're all lined up waiting to talk to you. But I want to talk to Brett here. And I want to put the Wayback Machine. Everybody has got this Throwback Thursday and Wayback Wednesday. So we're going to talk way back.
Okay.
You've been doing this a while.
A bit.
Everybody has a starting place. Everybody has that first big success. Take me back to wherever that was, first championship season, when you got that local championship and somebody said, hey, Hearn, you might be able to make it on tour.
Well, I remember thinking in the very beginning that there was, racing was pretty easy. It wasn't a lot of pressure. Hadn't done, all that much yet. And after I got that first win, I started to feel a little bit different about,
Okay, now tell me, how old were you? Where were you? About?
I was just turned 17, and I was at Orange County Fair Speedway.
So Orange County Fair Speedway,
yep.
That first bits of success.
Yep, that was a sportsman car at the time, which was really like our modern day small block modified. And, until I started to really do better, I didn't really feel a lot of pressure. Once I started to do well, then the pressure came on hard.
So as you got to win, now you've got to think, I got to win again, right?
Exactly. If you did it once, now I got to be able to do it twice. I got to be able to do it 3 times, 4 times. Now, all of a sudden, I could maybe win a championship. How do I do that? And I remember thinking that. I remember a lot of I had a full-time job at the speed shop, a local speed shop by my house. And I remember a lot of very nervous Saturdays waiting to go to the track.
And is it nervous because you want to win for you want to win for the team, some fan? There's no social media at that time, so they're not talking junk about you on social media.
I don't really, I think it was just the pressure I put on myself.
Put on yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
And after you got that championship, what were those days like? You know, did they go, hey, Hearn, you don't have to come in so early tomorrow. You got the championship. Did you get a little time? Was there that difference? You get to buy a brewski or two, somebody for you?
Well, drinking age was 18 back then, not 21. That did help, but I wasn't quite 18 yet. But I think it was just like, wow, you weren't supposed to do that yet. You don't have enough experience.
What made that year for you? Was it, you know, that made the speed? Was it you were just out there and didn't know you couldn't go slower or faster than that? Was it the crew? How was that year? Where were you working on the car? Was it a dirt floor?
Well, quite honestly, you know, we had a car at my parents' house that my dad helped me with, but I did well enough in that car to get hired by someone else that had a really good car. And I think that fact that I had a really good engine, a really good car that early in my career really gave me that big jump start. That was a guy by the name of Pete Van Eyderstein back in the late 70s.
So that first paycheck from a real car owner that's having you drive, do you remember what you got? A couple of 8-tracks, you know, or what was that first paycheck like when you looked at it and went, holy Toledo, I'm a race driver?
I was a junior or senior in high school, and actually I was getting paid to race, which was pretty damn cool at the time.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, the number doesn't matter so much, but I mean, what did your folks say when, you know?
Well, my parents were always behind me, always super proud. But there was a time right after, you know, I ran Sportsman for 3 years, and I went to my dad and I said, I'd like to move up to big block modifieds. And I'd only been running for 3 years. And he said, you know what? I think that's a great idea. So I'm like, God, hook, line, and sinker. He's going to buy me a big block modified. And he said, I'll tell you what I'll do. He goes, you drove my car a little bit. He goes, I never paid you. We'll sell that car. I'll give you half the money. Good luck. I went, really? So that was really a test by him to see how badly I wanted to do it. And I made it work.
You sure did. When all the younger kids that are smart have to come up and get some mentoring from you at one point or another. What is the thing that today's racer, you try to explain to them and hope that they will learn that maybe before they got to meet somebody with your kind of experience, they just hadn't heard? What is that advice you're giving to those younger racers that they need to hear that they're not always getting yet?
Well, I think when you talk about young drivers that want to be at the Super Dirt Series level, even in a big block or late model World Outlaws or sprint cars, I think the thing that you need to impress upon them is, are you ready to commit? How badly do you want it? And if you're not really in it 1,000%, eventually you'll burn out. You burn out pretty quick. There's racers and there's real racers. The real racers hang around for a little bit longer than the other guys do.
Well, you're certainly a real racer. A look into the crystal ball for this weekend. You got something we're going to see and we're going to go wow?
Well, you know, we came off a pretty stout performance at Eastern States weekend in Middletown, and I think we have a good combination for here. Last year we got derailed a little bit by a rear end problem in time trials, and that wrecked our whole weekend because we lost both of our times in time trials. We know we got to come off the trailer. It's very important to come off the trailer quick here. If we can do that, things can go our way.
Real racer, he knows how to get it done. Brett Hearn, ladies and gentlemen, Super Dirt Car Series. You got to keep your eye on the jet. We'll be back in just a second, or in fact, they're coming up here. Parker Price Miller is next up. PPM. Brett, thank you for joining us. We've got the law firm coming up. We got to switch mics here, and then Selzy's coming up. Top Fuel coming up next. Man, your dad, I go back. I should tell you stories, but we can't have the mic on when we talk about Dad. How you feeling, kiddo? You recovered?
Not 100% yet, but I'm good enough to go for this weekend.
What kind of what have they made you do physically to get feeling better? You know?
No, they don't want me doing anything actually. You know, I actually have a cracked T4 in the middle of my back and a 3-bulge disc in my neck, so I probably shouldn't be racing. But you know, it's kind of hard to walk away. And you know, they cleared me to race this weekend, but after that, 4 weeks off to strictly doing nothing and just get recovered for next year.
So we had the kid Leonardi on talking about iRacing. Do you get on to try to just keep your reflexes, things like that? What are you able to even do to just keep this in line?
I actually don't play any iRacing. I need to get it, but I've only played it a few times, and that's whenever one of my buddies has it. But I work out at a place called Pit Fits in Indianapolis, and they train like your reaction timing and stuff like that. So I still go there and try and stay on my game. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get anything you get in a race car. So you just got to get back in the race car.
You're with a group, Bernie and the Indy Parts guys, super individuals. What's that camaraderie? You got Selzy, you got others coming and going throughout there. What's it like to be in that family? I think Ross Weiss is egging him on, by the way.
It's a great atmosphere. I love racing with those guys. Bernie's such a good mechanic and crew chief. We're always fast. And to have teammates like Gio and Dom, the two of the funniest kids in the pits, along with Gary, it's just a great time and a good atmosphere. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else for this weekend.
So you get through the recovery and stuff. You're already seeing Florida, though. Things will be good and all.
Yeah. I plan on going to Australia. Not sure when my first race over there will be, but I'm going to continue my season down there, end of 2018 and start of 2019, and then I'll come back and I'll be in Florida. Not sure what car I'll be in yet, but I'll be down there, and then hopefully make my way out west and then start my Midwest season.
Australia, are you back in the car have you been in before? Who are you with down there?
Yes, the Hardings, the number 2 USA, same deal as last year. I don't know if we're going to have the same American flag paint scheme. It was a really good-looking car, but, it's their deal, so I let them do whatever they want with it. But, I'm really thankful for what they do for me down there. And next year we're actually talking about maybe putting something back here for 2019. But, just a great group of guys, and, thankful that they've let me come down there.
You go see Stu McCarthy and Valvoline Raceway. What's that track like?
I've actually never made it over to Sydney. I've only been to the Western Australia tracks like Perth and Bunbury, and I've been to Mount Gambier and Warrnambool. So I still got to make my way to some other tracks, but it's just beautiful scenery down there, great racing, and just really nice weather. So I really enjoy it down there.
What's the food you tell everybody about? Is it Vegemite or whatever? What have you ate over there that's pretty good?
Really, the only thing I haven't had over here that I had over there is Vegemite, and I don't recommend anyone to try it. It's not very good, but it's pretty much the same. Always the way they talk, the way they weigh things. That's different, and they drive on the opposite side of the road. Some things to get used to, but when you get down to it, it's pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. Well, great to see you. I know Dom's chomping at the bit.
And
we don't want to leave him without adult supervision too long.
Yeah. Come up here, Dom.
Parker Bryce Miller, Indy Race Parts, recovering, getting better, and going to Australia. How cool is that?
BPM, everybody, give it up for him.
How about
Champion.
it, Dominic Selzy coming up here? Had your little brother was on the radio show with me and talk a little bit about Dad. Dad and I go back to him winning when I ran Gateway and all. So, you got the ride. You got the call to come out here. What was that phone call like?
That phone call was me calling Bernie about 30 times a day, every single day. Please let me drive the 71. Please let me drive the 71. And he was able to let me come out and drive the third car, which is really cool. And it's actually the same car my brother won Williams Grove with, so it's pretty cool to be able to be here. And I'm just loving it up. And we had a really good run at Port Royal on Sunday night, so I'm just having a lot of fun.
And I know you're enjoying yourself, but you're also serious about this. This is not just here to enjoy 26 acres. You're serious about trying to get into that feature on either night, if not both nights. What's your plan of attack?
My plan of attack is you just drink a lot of the 26 acres brews, and then the pressure comes off, and I really am just all about having fun. To me, there's no pressure. I've had a very good year for myself, and I'm happy with what we've accomplished in the 41 camp. So to come out here and drive the 71, honestly, it's just icing. And, we made the Port Royal, the Tuscarora 50 at Port Royal. I felt we were a contender for a top 5, maybe a top 10, or top 10, maybe a top 5. And, the car's fast, and I definitely think we're going to be a contender for the top 5, maybe a win.
Besides Bernie finally saying, okay, if you don't call back, I'll let you drive. What was the best moment of the year for you so far that you will remember, whether it was first or fifth? That moment. What was it?
I think 2 stick out more than anything, and obviously number 1 would have to be the World Challenge. Winning the World Challenge at the Knoxville Nationals was unbelievable for me. A place like that and an event like that, to be a part of it and to win it is something that I will never forget, the feeling of. But also early in the year when I won my first race of the year, I actually passed my brother with 2 laps to go, and he was in a family 41 car. So for me, I think that was just sentimental-wise, it was pretty cool to be able to pass him, because everyone's talking about my little brother right now, and he's got so much talent. So to be able to pass him, it felt a lot of good. Felt really good for the older brothers out there to be able to, take a beating on the little brother.
Yeah, the old timer now in the group. Knoxville, constantly and rightfully so, hear about what you said. Big place, got it, tradition, all that. What was those things that you actually felt and noticed that were different about Knoxville? What does make it different?
I think the biggest thing about Knoxville is there's so much history behind it, and there's no other event like it. You got $150,000 to win, $10,000 just to start the race, and you look at the quality of cars there and the quality of drivers. If you're in the B main on Saturday night, you've done something special.
Competitors, I get it. But you're walking, is it about the way the fence is? Is it about the way the buildings are? Looking at the Hall of Fame back there, do you catch it just walking around it?
You definitely do. There's a special vibe about the place, and I think not only the competitors and not only the event itself, but being at Knoxville, when you roll into the town of Knoxville itself, it just feels different.
And the fans, the way they treat you?
The fans are amazing. There's no event like it. I would say maybe the World Finals would be the closest thing like it, or the Chili Bowl, where you just go to a place and immediately it's the air, you can cut it with a butter knife. It's amazing. Like I said, to be part of the 25 field and to run as well as we did there was amazing. But, the place itself and the history behind it is something beyond special.
So you're in the car this weekend and you finish whatever place. Are you just going to sit there and make Bernie not take you out of the car for the winter, and we'll see you in Florida in the exact same car? What are your plans for next year?
Next year, I think my plans are we're going to run the family car, the 41S, quite a bit. Probably do something similar to what we did this year. We've actually talked about starting in Florida and following the Outlaws for a little bit and see how we're doing. But in reality right now, my focus is tomorrow night for qualifying and Friday and Saturday if we can get Friday in. But I would love to run the 71 car a couple more times. And he actually he was the one that set me up coming here, so I'm gonna hound him pretty hard for letting me drive it.
Did you run with us last year here for this?
I didn't. I actually drove for George Lasowski, which is Danny Lasowski's dad, about 20 years ago now, but 2015 or whatever.
So you have driven our track?
Yes,
yeah.
I have been here.
Okay.
Actually reminds me a lot of the Motorplex in Perth, Australia. So I'm excited to get back here after racing in Perth the last 2 years, and we'll see what we can do.
Well, they need you over at the bar because you're obviously about a lap down now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think out of everybody in here, I'm probably the number one guy that likes to have a lot of fun. So I'm recovering from last night. Hopefully tonight I don't get on it too hard, but I'm just happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Dominic
Thank you very
Scelzi.
much.
Say hey to Dad. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Dominic Scelzi. We also want to remind you about Weiss's Pieces, a special project from Dirt Vision's own Ross Weiss, looking for programs from the past. If you have them, contact Ross through Dirt Vision, through Weiss'sPieces.com, through any of that.
David Gravel's up next. This is brought to you by the 41 car.
Hey, man, how are you? Whoa, 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 go, careful. Don't want him falling off the back of the stage.
How are you?
I'm good. Your car owner was here earlier. Your next year car owner was here talking with us. How do you even put into words this situation now? So important to have that car out there on the track, what Bobby's doing, all of it. And it just got announced at lunchtime today.
We sat down last weekend and put a deal together, and never knew when the right time is, but before World Finals, we got a lot of buzz today from it. So just happy to drive their car. They have a great race team, and happy to be involved with Bobby and Jax and Phillip. So really looking forward to 2019.
You've got a car that's certainly going to be recognized. Will they tweak the design so that it's, have you even thought about any of that? What's it going to look like when we get to Florida?
Well, from my memory, they're pretty good at Volusia, so I'll probably unload with what they're good at there and see if I mesh with that. And they have a good qualifying program, so that's very important. So hopefully, I fit in there pretty well. We just fine tweak what they have and go from there. You don't want to make any wholesale changes, and they've been racing the same stuff for several years now, so they're pretty comfortable where they're at. And I just got to get in there and get used to everything.
So this big change happening, but did we start to see a different David Gravel when we saw that thing on social media? Are you now the Dominic Scelzi to be with the personality?
I'm no Dominic Scelzi, but I just try to be a little bit different. It seems like a lot of sprint car drivers are kind of all the same, and coming from the Northeast, not many sprint car drivers are from there, so I just grew up a little bit different and just try to bring a little bit of, spunk or whatever you want to call it in dirt racing.
Did you have a name for that?
It's called the Kiki Challenge. It's pretty famous in the hip-hop world, but I just try to have a little fun.
So Jeff Gordon back in the day actually broke dance. He would spin around on it, and he'll tell you, and he'll get real serious with you about it and such. Did you, compete like that or do anything?
No. My sisters like to dance a lot, and they peer pressure me, but I didn't know Jeff Gordon breakdance. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, around cardboard, he's as good on it as he is in the 24, or was. So next year, you got to be excited about going on tour and doing things. What do you see that will, watching that car, like I asked another driver that made a change, you've seen it fast at places where maybe you haven't been fast. Are you excited to go to certain tracks that maybe you can do better because you're in this car coming up?
That's hard to say. They're really fast at Knoxville, but I was very fast at Knoxville. But they're really good at Volusia, and just here last weekend in Port Royal, they were the second fastest car in qualifying out of 50 plus. So the hardest thing in our sport is when you don't have speed to find that speed, and it seems like they do have it. So that's a big part of it. Qualifying is so huge in our sport and our format. So you qualify good, it makes life a lot easier.
What's the race next year besides this weekend? I know, that's important. But in targeting 19, we go to Florida, got the season. Where are the ones that you've got unfinished business that you really, really want coming up, one or two of those?
Definitely Knoxville. I've won features there, but not the Knoxville Nationals. But, that's kind of cliche. Everybody wants to win that race. But I've been close once and, just want another chance at that. But you just want to win races. I just want to win a lot of races, hopefully get to double-digit wins, and just keep building from there. Every World of Outlaw race is hard to win no matter what track it's at. So I just want to win races and be successful and hopefully finish up there in the points.
How about a Gator? You got places for a Gator on your shelf?
Always can make room for sure, so we'll make something happen.
Is that the trophy that everybody wants? And there's different trophies along the tour, and not to say anything about other races, but that object of a trophy, is that about the one that you got to get?
So I did win a big Gator 2 years ago. It's in Barry's office in Pennsylvania, so he gets to stare at it, which he had another one. So he's got 2 big Gators, but that's definitely a very cool trophy, but I'll definitely take Knoxville or Kings Royal over that any day.
Yeah, can't wait to sit in that chair there at Eldora and finally get that one. I got a feeling that'll be on your agenda very, very soon. Man, it was great. I had no idea you were coming tonight, but it was awesome to see you.
Thank you.
Could we get some music to escort him out? Some kind of hip hoppy? He might throw something at us.
No thanks. I need a cocktail or two, and it's a school night. I got to work tomorrow, so.
You win, I'll be in victory lane. We're going to expect a little bit.
If I win, I'll perform something.
There you go, David Gravel. Great future ahead of him. Awesome car this weekend, and maybe a victory lane that we'll remember for a long time coming up this weekend. Thank you for coming, David Gravel. Logan Schuhart coming up next. The driver going to tell us all about things. Logan coming up next here to the stage. We're at 26 acres in Concord, North Carolina. I'm Lenny Batycki with PRNs at the track. Over 60 stations in 14 states. You can hear our grassroots show every weekend on the Performance Racing Network. Download the free PRN app and give us a follow at PRNs at the track on Twitter. We'll keep you up with all kinds of racing. One of the ones we like to see, when you come here, Logan, this is a place that you've got really special memories about. Why are you so good at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway?
It's a big racetrack. We go to some other big ones, but it's what I'm used to coming from Pennsylvania, and I just think I enjoy it. And you come back to a place where you have confidence. It's always good. It's good for the driver. It's good for the team, crew chief. We have great motors. Michael Newman does a great job with that, so it's a big place. But I like coming here. I love coming to Charlotte.
This will be your weekend where you'll get 19 and 20 starts here. Does the track get to where now places that were hard are easy, and you're starting to even go deeper into different places to find speed? You know the place better, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you come back, you have notes, and I mean, you can go to racetracks sometimes where you go back to years before, you got a notebook, but what worked before doesn't work now. So the tires change, cars change, people get better. So you just got to adjust the race cars, you got to adjust yourself, and just make yourself good every time you hit the racetrack.
You made a change when you were here in May. You got all new sponsors on the car. What's that been like to have a new sponsor?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great year in general. You know, we've won a couple races. We've had a lot more top fives than in years past. Joe Mooney's done a fantastic job with working on a car. Tyler Garber, Jeff Spalding with both cars. We've been very lucky to have Priority Aviation, Jennifer and Richard Marshall. Very fortunate to have them and their friendship throughout the sport and all they've done for dirt track racing in general. You know, that's incredible all they do. And it's just cool to be back in Charlotte. This is where we started our relationship with Team Dryden and their president, Dave Klinger, Al Johnson, marketing, Gene Nace, sales, and it's just great to be back here. And we would like to be, you know, keep this season golden. We don't really want it to be over, but a lot of exciting things happening here at Shark Racing.
Dryden seems to be in a few other series and such. Are you comparing notes? Are they starting to integrate you with other drivers and, you know, ad campaigns, things like that? Are you seeing some drawings on the shelf for next year?
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. You know, I have Will Rogers, and I talk a little bit with him and see all his stuff. You know, obviously we're going to be big fans of his and rooting him on, and with the ARCA stuff, and just seeing Team Dryden everywhere else. But like I said, there's a lot of exciting things happening, and we got some exciting news for Shark Racing's future tomorrow around 2:30 at the dirt track. We'd like to have as many people come out and be a part of that as possible.
2:30. Where should we watch social media, I guess? Will there be stuff live on social media?
Yeah, definitely. Team Dryden will have stuff on their page. Shark Racing will have stuff on their page. And I know Steve Post is taking over Team Dryden's Twitter this weekend. So we'd like as many people to come out and be a part of that and see what's going on.
Logan, always great to see you. Logan Schuhart, driver of the Dryden machine. Big announcement, 2:30 tomorrow. Make sure you tune in on World of Outlaws and Dryden and Schuhart and all of the social media channels. This one's going to be one you want to watch. Bud, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks, Lenny, for having me. Thanks for this great event and all the fans that come out for it. You know, it's awesome to be here and be a part of the dirt track at Charlotte. And thanks again.
Awesome. Logan Schuhart, ladies and gentlemen. Big things coming tomorrow, and he's always done well here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coming up next, the CEO, CMO, whatever C's you want to say, the driver of the number 6, if you want to look back at last weekend, Brian Carter. The sport sure looks healthy.
It's a great time to be a dirt track fan, I tell you.
got young drivers coming in. I mean, the guys that have sat in that seat there, other than Hearn, who could have been their grandpa in some ways, and I don't mean that bad.
I did not say that,
I love
Brett.
me some
That was
Brett,
not me.
but you've got so many bright, young, energetic faces that are promoting the product now, the brand World of Outlaws. It's Super DirtCar.
It's so exciting to see these young guys aspiring and really putting on a hell of a show. We've made a great place for them to want to come and play, and we got some talented young guys coming up, and I tell you, I tell them all the time, I enjoy watching them race. So much energy and excitement they bring to the sport, and so competitive already. It's just phenomenal to see them grow and to be a part of it, and they aspire to be World of Outlaws drivers or Super DirtCar Series drivers. It's cool.
People don't realize that Brian actually raced in the World Short Track Championship last weekend. And what did you learn behind the wheel that if these guys start asking you questions, you're going to have better answers now?
They don't want to learn anything that I learned behind the wheel.
Well, if they go into grass, they could also learn from you.
I did that. I brought a can of paint and some grass seed. So if I hit the wall or went through the infield, I'd take care of both of it for the speedway. But I learned last weekend how important it was to be one of the guys in the pit area again. That was fun.
And the camaraderie of the drivers and the fans, other forms of motorsports might have it, but it really exists here.
Yeah, there's no other place where you can intermingle and be a part of the race teams if you want to. You come down in the pit area, enjoy the sport right next to the race cars, right next to your heroes. There is no other sport like it. Lots of other sports try to get you to connect to the drivers, and they put up a big fence, and they haven't figured out that's a big problem for them long term. We'll never be that way with us. You're going to have a chance to come in the pit area, get to know your drivers and your fans, and be a part of the event. And that's something that World of Outlaws has done from day one, and we'll do it forever.
A healthy product on the track, off the track, a large souvenir area, largest souvenir area I think we've had. Teams like Bernie and Indy now starting to rise up, a new sponsor in the team ranks, Dryden, and so much good happening. What if somebody's watching and owns a company and needs to get involved in this? What do they do?
You know, the people want to be a part of what we're doing, including the marketing sponsors. We can expose your brands to a lot of different people. It's a great time to be a dirt track fan. It's a great time to be a part of it. All of our events are exciting. They're dynamic. They meet the attention span of our great fans and the marketing community. So we have an incredible place that people want to be. And that's something that a lot of people are trying to manufacture, and they can't manufacture it. We don't have to do a thing. Our racing is the best racing in the world, and people want to come and see it.
Florida in February, right around the corner.
It's right around the corner for us. We've started taking down grandstands. Jeff told you, we're building brand new grandstands. If you guys want to visualize it while you're here, imagine the 4 sections in Charlotte, take away 2 rows below that's how big it's going to be. So Florida in February, we start working last month, and we're going to be working all the way till hot laps.
The Dirt Vision experiment with being able to pay month to month, and how has that worked out?
Our fans want to be involved every day, and to be able to treat those fans to great racing, be involved and engaged every day, get a chance to see the video live or on demand immediately, meets the needs. And I'm telling you, the exposure for the sport has grown exponentially, even in the short time frame we've been doing the subscription base. So you'll see expansion of that again, more stuff like Flow Sports, and Dirt Vision is absolutely phenomenal right now, engagement with the fans.
Open Red has become its own product. Open Red,
yeah, Ross and Justin, those guys engage. It's incredible, the content that they've created and the fan base. Again, it's all about spreading the word, engaging the race fans, and giving them something they want to be engaged every day. They want to see what's going on, and it's just a different take on the world. And when you broaden that perspective and you get somebody's perspective, like Justin and Ross and all those guys, really bring the personality of the sport forward and communicate it, only more people are going to want to get involved.
Well, we can't wait for this big weekend. Brian Carter, thank you for coming up here. Another guest that, they just keep throwing them out.
I know, there's no other event in the world like what we're about to experience here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the World Finals. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend. I can't wait.
Thank you for joining us. Brian Carter, World Racing Group, World of Outlaws, Jacob Allen coming up next. Fans, we got them lined up. They are so many ready to come here and chat with us. Jacob Allen gonna make his way over here. 28 races, you've got all kinds of good things. This year's been pretty darn good. What's it been like from behind the wheel for you?
It's been a lot of fun. Just running up front was fun this year. Went through bad times that weren't as fun, and I had a good summer, and it was just good. It was a lot of fun.
What's been the biggest change that's helped you?
Just having the right people around me, I think. I got a good team with Joe and Tyler and Jeff. They're all from right where we live in Pennsylvania, and they were working on our cars all year, and I met a nice girl, got a nice girlfriend. I just think this year I was surrounded by a lot of really great people, so I think that made a difference.
You've ran here at the dirt track before now many times. What do you got for them this weekend?
Well, I'm still searching for that first win. I still have that edge on my shoulder to get that. So there's still 2 races left, and that's the plan, and that's what I'm here for.
Logan was up here talking about 2:30 tomorrow, exciting things. What's going to happen?
Yeah, we got a lot of exciting things going on with Shark Racing right now. We had a great year, and our future as a race team is looking bright. We do got some cool things going on at 2:30 right under the grandstand, so if anyone wants to stop out and check that out, go for it.
Man, it's going to be good, I'm sure. Thank you for coming up here. We're excited about this weekend. Can't wait to see you out there making it happen.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me, and thanks everybody for coming out. I'm excited for a great weekend.
Jacob Allen, everyone, up here, 2:30 tomorrow. You've been teased by Logan, teased by Jacob. You got to get there at 2:30 tomorrow. And now coming up, Mike, how are you? Got all kinds of people coming up here chatting with us and doing all kinds of stuff today. It has been just crazy out there. So what's your season been like?
Well, we've kind of had an up and down year a little bit. It's been a learning year for us. Started out with a rookie deal, and we're a true rookie. We've been having some good races, showing some potential, and also having some moments where we've got some things to learn from for next year.
So in that rookie year, what have you learned from, guys out there like Hearn and some of these veterans that you didn't even expect coming in? What has been some of the surprises that somebody, getting to compete against them, is like?
Yeah, well, on the late model side where we're at, we've just been, trying to watch a lot of stuff, getting in a lot of different tire situations, tire rule deals, track surfaces.
How much is the surface and the combination? How many hours do you put in trying to figure that part out alone?
We're up from the Midwest in Minnesota, and man, it's like, when you grow up somewhere, you just think that's the way it is everywhere.
Sure.
It's not the case, we're up where we race. You look for the brown part of the track. You want to be in the traction. Down here in the Carolinas, a lot of times the black part of the track is cleaner. You got to stay away from the dirty part of the track. There's not as much traction there. And then all the tires play into that, and what compounds you want for the dirty stuff and the black. So there's just a lot to learn when you travel across the country.
So you grew up, you were racing Proctor Speedway, Viking, Sauk Rapids, tracks like that?
Yeah, like a lot of Cedar Lake and Deer Creek and tracks like that
Creek,
up north.
yeah.
Yep.
And Deer Creek, is that the one close to the Dakotas? What's the one over there almost right on the line, kind of northwestern corner of the state?
Yeah, Grand Forks is up there.
Yeah.
Yep, right kind of in the border town up there between Minnesota and Dakotas, yeah.
Got some really, good race fans up there. A lot of good media comes out of there. What's that special thing that makes a driver from the Viking state, different than anybody else?
I mean, we get a little bit of everything up there. We do see some of the cushion stuff like you see up in Illinois, down in Illinois,
yep.
where maybe not quite an Illinois cushion, but we get some cushion stuff. We get the slicks tracks, and we get some traction. We got a lot of diversity. Our tracks change a lot throughout the night, so you've got to be good from the beginning of the night to the end. We still get some, I guess, some things you just don't see across the rest of the country, like the dirtier tracks. Most of our races aren't qualifying up there, so some of that's just new to us.
What do you think? Have you made laps yet at the dirt track here?
Yep, we were here last year at Charlotte, and I didn't qualify well, but we raced well one of the nights and had mechanical problems the other. And looking forward to this weekend, having a little bit of time underneath our belt, and feel like we're a lot more prepared than we were last year when we showed up.
What is that thing that you feel most confident about have made a change? That you this year is going to be better than last year because you know you did this differently. What is that?
I think we really understand the tires a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And this week we spent a lot of time at Longhorn, just specifically preparing for this race. Got a lot of input from the guys over there. And
so you had to spend time with Rumley?
We spent some time with Rumley. Yep. I found that the best time to get a hold of Rumley is about 2 in the morning, and so he and I have some
mad
chats.
scientist.
Yeah. So he and I have some good chats at about 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like we really spent all week preparing specifically for this weekend.
Well, certainly look forward to a good one. Appreciate you stopping up here. They got more of them coming up. Looks like Wes is going to join me. So thank you. Good luck this weekend. Come on up, Wes. So,
dude, what's up?
Dude, I have been such a fan of your videos. Look at
we
that.
got you all excited.
Even the high-tech equipment Tony gives us coming apart here. So, such a fan of watching all these track videos you do and such. Kind of give us your version of 26 acres in the World Finals. What would you be saying, on your DB3 videos?
Oh, this is like the biggest party in the world, really. Think about it. Like, it's one of the greatest races ever. All 3 major divisions on one track. I mean, I'm excited. I've never been here. This is my first time.
Wow. So when did you get in town?
We got in town. We left Port Royal Speedway, which I was nothing against Port Royal Speedway, but the weather was cold. So I was glad to get here in North Carolina and get in the warm weather. We got into town on Sunday. I drove straight through. We parked at the World Racing Group headquarters and just kind of
right around
chilled
the corner.
out. Yeah, right. Yeah. Just kind of chilled out. And but we're ready, man. We're ready for a party. I mean, we're ready for our break. Don't get me wrong. Everybody's like, are you getting tired? Yeah. Obviously, we get tired, but I'm not as tired as those drivers and their crew members. We're tired, but, in 2 weeks, we're going to be like, man, when's it start back up?
Yeah.
But, Brittany and I started a page, and we just want to share our passion, on the road, what we do, and let people see some of the tracks that you don't see. You always see the cars on the track. You don't see the outside part, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we're having a good time. Why don't we have beers up here, man?
Because they won't let me have them. And Clanton and Selzy, they've been bringing brewskis up. Everybody keeps teasing me.
Should have ordered some, right?
Yeah.
But no, this is a great opportunity. I am so
What's
blessed.
your background? How did you get into this?
Well, I've been around racing just like everybody else probably in this building. My dad raced at Fredericksburg Speedway in Pennsylvania, and we grew up around Silver Spring Speedway. Alan Chrysler running that whole domain. Great stuff. Williams Grove, Lincoln, Central Pennsylvania.
So you were kind of a little kid track rat growing up?
Running around throwing football before the races, that kind of thing. But, I tried my hand at racing. I'm a better talker than I am a race car driver, so, I ran cars as long as I could, and I had a great time, obviously. But I can say I raced a car. But I don't know. I feel like I'm a better preacher, maybe, than I am a race car driver.
In your tours of the facilities and such, the tracks from coast to coast and all, what's one that you went, wow, that's kind of special that I didn't expect?
Well, I tell you what, we were just talking about that. Flat Out Magazine is going to interview me for a little article, and they asked me what's my favorite track so far this year. And I got to really honestly say Fairbury, Illinois.
And you hear that out there, Mike Norris. Fairbury.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I mean, it's not that the facility was like state of the art or anything like that. It's an old place, but the town, small town, and they were so into the racing, man. Like the fair board members they care so much about the track and the community, the grocery stores, the shops, you know, just a really, I felt like I was living in 1950.
Yeah.
Even though I never lived in 1950, but I'm not that old. But, you know, I had to like almost pinch myself and say, are these people real? You know, like, you know, most people where I come from would say, what the HE double hockey sticks are you looking at?
Right.
These people are like welcoming us in open arms, you know, shaking our hands and just really glad we were in town. So hopefully we're back at that track again next year. Go.
Do you see a new World of Outlaws fan coming, especially because you're welcoming, you're open, you are modern, you know, that they're not their grandpa's World of Outlaws fan. They're new, they're high tech, but they're still, you know, casual and cool. Yeah. They're totally relaxed in this. You relate to them more so than maybe me and other people. You're welcoming a new fan to this. Are they coming?
Oh yeah, I think they are, and I think, you know, like, I'm nothing against tracks and organizations and things like that, but we need to start probably thinking outside of the box a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know, just you know, we need to get our youth involved a little more.
Yeah.
We got a lot of adults involved, and they've been coming for a long time. But you know, our old timers they're getting old. You know, they're going away. So you got this new generation, and we just gotta. People are a little more impatient these days. You know, a little more sensitive, I guess you could say. And we just need to, I think, maybe involve them more.
Well, you've done a great job of being a positive part of social media, and you get to interact with the fans around the country in these tracks. Who are some of these young kids? Like, I mean, Parker Price Miller, you got, you know, Gio and Dominic, you got them all coming in here. That Carson Macedo kid, holy Toledo. That,
right on,
you know,
right on.
Who are some that, you know, the fans are really starting to get, you know, excited about?
Well, you know, on my side of the fence, I'm down in the merchandise trailer all day long.
Yeah.
So, you know, I see the younger crowd going towards Sheldon's trailer a little more than and Gravel's, you know, when Gravel's selling gear. Of course, some of those guys don't have trailers, but so on my side of the fence, I see a lot of Sheldon fans, you know, and that's great. Those young drivers need to bring those young kids into the sport. So they're doing a great job. They really are. And you know, even us older guys, we gotta kind of step down a little bit and take a look at what they really want, what they want from us, and give it to them. You know, but you know, Sheldon and all the guys on the full-time drivers are doing a great job. I mean, Carson Macedo, I mean, that's going to be great to have him on tour. You know, Gravel's got a new, you know, kind of a new, like, he's ready.
He's got a new vibe.
Yeah,
to
he
it.
does.
I can see it
happy.
here. You could, from last
Yeah.
year, and he's been on, I think, another couple of times.
Sure.
There's a relaxed, cool hip to Gravel right now.
I mean, to race for Bobby Johnson, I mean, yeah, come on, man. She's awesome, you know. Bobby Johnson is like Mrs. Dirt Track, you know. I really think so. You know, and you know, the Shark Racing team, like Jacob and Logan, man, I mean, those guys are young and hip, and people follow them. And they're kind of the underdogs, and they always have been. But, you know, I don't think so much anymore. Those guys are like, I watched Jacob Allen at Fairbury, Illinois, and I was telling you what, man, I was holding my breath for him, watching him up on the top, coming down, dicing around, and I mean, just some good ass racing, and you know.
Are we going to see special social media from you the next couple of days? Where can folks find you?
Well, I mean, you can go to Living Like Outlaws on our Facebook page, obviously, but we'll do our best. But I got a feeling we're going to be pretty busy in the merchandise trailer. We got some really cool gear in the official merchandise trailer, and you know, event T-shirts and things like that. So I think I'm going to be too busy probably to do videos. We'll have to ask Brittany if she'll let me go walk around and do some of that, but we'll probably be a little busy, man. But we'll try to do our best.
Wes, thank you for what you've done. You've opened up new fans to us. We appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah,
what
man.
a night from here at 26 Acres. Fans, thank you for tuning in to Pit Road TV. PRN's At the Track Live. 6 years of doing this. It just keeps getting better here at the World of Outlaws World Finals. Remind you, tomorrow we're an hour earlier, so if you're here, you got to get out here earlier. The schedule's going to bump up. You can follow PRNs at the Track on Twitter, PRNs at the Track on Twitter. Keep you updated. You can go to goprn.com to hear our shows, or on more than 60 stations in 14 states. We love grassroots racing. From O'Reilly Auto Parts, Valvoline, Bojangles, and Wix, all our great year-long sponsors, and tonight's sponsor who we couldn't do it without, PFC Brakes. I'm Lenny Batycki. It's been an honor to be here working with Tony Stevens and our whole crew. Follow my buddy here, Wes, and we will see you at the track. We'll try to do it best. Thank you for what you've done. You've opened up new fans to us. We appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. What a night here at 26 acres. Man, thank you for tuning in to Pit Road TV. At the Track Live. 6 years of doing this. It just keeps getting better here at the World of Outlaws World Finals. Remind you tomorrow, we're an hour earlier. So if you're here, you got to get out here earlier. Schedule's going to bump up. You can follow PRN.
Nowhere to go. I need to find a rock to help me roll. So take me down to the riverside. Let that muddy water make my spirit shine. So take me down to the riverside. Push me under and free my mind.
It's Florida in February. Sprint cars, late models, modifieds. Kickoff 2019 with the DirtCar Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. World's fastest half mile. 12 straight nights of double features. World of Outlaws. DirtCar Modifieds. February 5th through the 16th.